We have seen alternate GRC fall to the Workers' Party. And PAP MPs and ministers of that time were mentioning that the quality of PAP government will fall down if Aljunied lost. If they lost Aljunied to the opposition. I think this is not true. The quality of PAP MPs have been falling for the last 10 years, even before Aljunied fell. Do you think the current ministers in parliament and the MPs are of quality? Do they even know what they are talking about? In terms of quality, maybe academic quality. They are well educated. But do you think they know your day-to-day issues? Day-to-day survival? Bread and butter issues? Your food issues? Electric bills, water bills, basic necessity, property tax, all of these are going up. But the quality does not seem to be going up together. Remember some of the broken promises. I'm talking about broken promises from the PAP. They promised you, we will listen to you at the last general elections. Have you been listened to? Foreign workers, statistics have shown, are increasing. Even in the PMAT sectors, professionals, managements, executive and technical officers. Who is suffering? It is you, the people, who are suffering, as well as us. We do not speak as politicians. We speak as one of you, citizens of Singapore, voters of Punggol East. Who is affected? It's each and every one of us. Do you think the PAP is affected? They do not want competition for themselves in parliament. But by importing foreign workers, they want competition for you, for your jobs, for your housing. Furthermore, more broken promises from the PAP. They promise you Swiss standard of living. This was many years ago. The PAP promised you Switzerland, Swiss standard of living. But they have only delivered Swiss cost of living. Mind you, the cost of living and standard of living are two different things. Our cost of living is very high, but our standard of living is not good at all. It's going down the drain. Our cost of living is increasing, but our standard of living is stagnant, or it might be even going down. JBJ mentioned when he started the Reform Party. JBJ mentioned, Reform Party is for change. People of Singapore, anyone happy today with the system, you should not come to us. If you are happy with the system, this is in the words of Mr. JBJ, if you are happy with the system, go to Mr. Chiam Si Tong or Low Tia Kiang. Why? Because they are happy with the system. The Reform Party is not happy at all with the system. We will take the PAP on, head on directly. We may be a small party, but we are not afraid. We have received death threats. Mr. Kenneth Jeyaretnam and his poor son has received death threats. We are still not afraid. We have a heart to serve you people. My experience knowing JBJ, 1997, I was just 9 years old when Mr. J.B. Jeyaretnam contested in the Cheng San GRC, which this ward was part of back then. Mr. Tang Liang Hong was with him. I was just a little boy. My parents brought me to the rally to watch. That day, I knew which side I would be on. That very day, I knew that I would be on the side of change for Singapore, for residents, for the Singapore citizens and the future of all your children. I would be on the side of change. Change is inevitable. Change cannot be stopped. Change for the citizens and change for the better. Furthermore, when I was 18 years old, I had the privilege of meeting the late Mr. J.B. Jeyaretnam. He was selling books. The year was 2006, 2 years before the formation of the Reform Party. 2 years before Mr. J.B. Jeyaretnam passed away. It's very sad that Mr. J.B. Jeyaretnam passed away and he's not with us tonight. He was not with us in the year 2011 when we contested. Or else, we would have taken any GRC we wanted. We would have taken at least a single seat in Parliament. It is very sad. Back to the year 2006, when the general elections was going on. Before that, I was only 18 years old back then. I met Mr. J.B. Jeyaretnam selling books in the public. I saw Mr. J.B. Jeyaretnam selling books in public, and he told me, I met him along Bugis Junction, where there used to be a Pacific Internet. I met him along Orchard Road as well as Raffles Place. Couple of occasions when I met him. One of these occasions, it's still very fresh in my mind. He told people who bought his books that they should not pity him. Despite being a judge, despite being a lawyer, he stood against all the odds for his beliefs. He never gave up. Until now, every one of our members in the Reform Party, his son, Mr. Kenneth Jeyaretnam, we are fighting for this very belief. We will not give up and we will never give up. Back to Mr. J.B. Jeyaretnam. He said not to feel pity for him, but feel pity for the people of Singapore who have been oppressed. He told me that he was earning his keeps by selling his books. He stood for his beliefs. Not to pity him, but to pity Singapore and Singaporeans. Mr. Kenneth Jeyaretnam, he has been away from Singapore for quite some time. Why did he come back to Singapore? To continue the fight where his father left off. The great Mr. J.B.J. left off. He passed away early. He should have been with us right now. Mr. Kenneth stood into his father's shoes. And mind you, Mr. J.B.J. is a giant. J.B. Jeyaretnam was a giant of a man. None of us here could step into his shoes. He had the courage and the moral conviction, much like Mr. Andy Ju mentioned earlier on. Mr. Kenneth Jeyaretnam is a chip of the old block. He has much of his father's courage and conviction to serve people of Singapore, citizens of Singapore, residents of Punggol East. We have come here tonight to make a statement. No more broken promises.